Hey guys, Level Cap here, and this week in gaming, leaks about Battlefield 6's trailer hit social media, Warzone players finally got some good news, Path of Exile had a disastrous expansion launch, and much more. Battlefield leaks have been all the rage the past few weeks. Thankfully, it seems like a proper reveal is coming soon. Leaker Tom Henderson tweeted a new sketch of a trailer for Battlefield 6. It shows a rocket launch from the cockpit of a helicopter. Replies to the tweet pointed out a striking similarity to the real-world Tanegashima Space Center in Japan. Tom's sketch shows a tornado ripping through the scene. He's previously said that weather will cause dynamic destruction in Battlefield 6. As for when the official reveal is happening, Tom's sketch includes a heads-up element that reads 0205. This could be a hint that the reveal trailer is launching on May 2nd. The Battlefield 5 reveal trailer was released on May 23rd. A teaser trailer launched earlier that month, and a prominent heads-up display element had the number 23 in it. DICE are known for hiding these sorts of hints in their promotional material. Assuming Tom's sketch is accurate to the real thing, he might be showing us the teaser trailer for the big reveal. Tom also suggested that Battlefield 6 won't have a last-gen console version. A previous leak of the EA Play Live schedule suggested Battlefield 6 is launching on November 19th as a cross-gen title and for PC. That could be a bit of a stretch considering that the game is rumored to support 128 players, which is probably beyond the capabilities of last-gen hardware. And of course, as with all leaks and rumors, take them as pure speculation until EA and DICE do an official reveal. That said, what do you guys think? Tom has been leaking stuff for over a year at this point. He's been the only source of Battlefield 6 info for all of that time, and nothing has come out that confirms or denies his claims. We know that Battlefield 6 will likely feature enhanced real-time destruction, improved character renderings, and a modern setting. That's pretty exciting stuff considering the franchise has spent so much time exploring history with its previous titles. Call of Duty Warzone players will be happy to hear Raven have finally addressed the game's balance issues. Things reached a fever pitch yesterday following the Psychov pistols being added to the game. The pistol has a time to kill of 200 milliseconds, which is nearly half the time of Warzone's previously fastest killing weapon, which was also considered to be a bit overpowered. Raven announced on Twitter that they're working on a massive balance update that will adjust the AUG, M16, FFAR, and Psychov. Where things get really juicy is that they're also adjusting the Rose skin. The skin renders players almost invisible and has been a plague in the game for months. They also have some other changes in the works but didn't disclose info about them. If these changes are effective, it'll mean great things for the overall health of the game, but the real question is how Raven let the situation get so bad to begin with. The Season 2 update for Warzone introduced so many balance issues that seems like they should have been obvious. The Psychov pistol, for example, having a time to kill that's half of an already overpowered weapon should be an immediate red flag. The fact that this made it into the game just doesn't make any sense. The situation is especially bad in the Psychov's case because players found a workaround to access the pistol months ago, and even back then it was a clear issue that it had way too much power. The more significant issue though is Raven's lack of communication about these problems. Warzone's balance issues have been going on for a very long time. Raven's only acknowledgement of them was in patch notes for the supposed FFAR and burst fire tactical rifles, but that patch didn't do much of anything. Raven's tweets announcing balance changes are in the works were a reply to a COD partner's question. They weren't even a dedicated tweet or a blog post. It seems like it's about time Activision created an official Warzone social media presence and a dedicated website for communicating about the game. Regardless, it's great to see some changes on the horizon. Season 2 ends next week with a big event that will likely replace Warzone's map with a Cold War version of Verdansk. Treyarch may have indirectly confirmed this in the Season 2 outro cinematic that they released this week. In that trailer, the characters confirmed that they're headed to Verdansk in the Cold War era. Last week, we reported on a bug that was supposedly getting players banned while playing Cold War Zombies. Getting to a very high round in the wave-based zombies mode would allegedly kick players and give them an error that reads Sail 630 nuclear bug. Attempting to log back in after receiving the bug notified players that they were banned. Affected players took to social media looking for answers. A developer stated this error is just a generic disconnect error and isn't responsible for the bans. However, it turns out the bug might have been responsible for false positive bans after all. The developers reviewed recent bans and overturned some that were likely caused by the Sail bug. Action RPG Path of Exile just had a disastrous launch event for its latest expansion, Ultimatum. The expansion adds a system where players can risk their items to get valuable rewards and trials that raise the difficulty over time. There's a race to get good stuff because it will outclass existing items, making them extremely valuable on the in-game economy system. But the launch hasn't gone smoothly. A bug with the queue system for logging players in caused the queue to stall and make players wait for over 2 hours. The developers quickly released a patch to fix it, but that update just started kicking players from their queue positions every 10 minutes. The developers had paid to sponsor some streamers to showcase their new expansion for 2 hours. These streamers were also unable to get into the game, so the developers let them skip the queue process entirely. Players didn't take kindly to such preferential treatment, which led to a massive backlash. The developers released a statement saying they felt an obligation to the streamers they had paid to promote the game and let them skip the queue because otherwise it would have been like setting a pile of money on fire. They acknowledged that this was the wrong way to handle the situation and will ensure future expansions launch without these sorts of problems. As for why the game needs a queue system, if everyone could just log in all at once, the servers for the game would become wildly unstable. It just so happens that this time around, Path of Exile's developers had a bug in their queue system. Typically, their launches are very smooth. Ubisoft are shutting down the servers for several of their classic multiplayer games. Titles like Assassin's Creed 2, Far Cry 2, Splinter Cell Conviction, Rainbow Six Vegas, and Ghost Recon Future Soldier are all on the chopping block. They'll start going offline in June. It's pretty obvious that these games probably didn't have hundreds of thousands of active players, but it's still sad to see games with such an insane legacy going offline. Affected titles will have their unlockable multiplayer content disabled, and you'll have 60 days to request a refund for any in-game currency they lost in the shutdown. Valve made a big change to how they treat VAC bans for CSGO esports players. Players with a VAC ban will be eligible to compete in official tournaments after 5 years. Before the rule change, a VAC ban meant you were barred from competing in official tournaments forever. The one catch to the rule change is that players who receive a VAC ban after competing in an official tournament are still barred from competing forever. Valve also patched a huge exploit in their game that utilizes community servers. The bug had apparently been around for at least 2 years. They fixed it after a research group revealed the severity of the exploit on Twitter. Before we get to our final story of the week, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope we covered all of the biggest stories you wanted to hear about. If we missed anything, let us know in the comments below. Otherwise, I'll see you on Monday for another episode of Today in Gaming. MMO Elder Scrolls Online is dropping real money transactions for in-game loot crates. The game's next update will add new optional side quests that give you a new currency when completed. Players can use this currency to buy any items that were previously in loot crates. The change is likely being made because Microsoft's policies about loot boxes dictate that they have to be earnable through gameplay. With Microsoft buying Bethesda, it seems like a lot is going to change with Bethesda's games. And that wraps it up for this week in gaming. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. This is Level Cap signing off.